We have now entered into the second week of Nancy Guthrie being missing. Additionally, we have passed this second alleged crucial deadline that was given by the kidnappers in the email, the ransom emails. And I am putting kidnappers in quotes because at this point, I believe that we could be dealing with two separate cases right now, two parallel cases. One, where is Nancy Guthrie? Two, who is sending these false ransom emails torturing this family? And I will tell you why I think that. Now, if you've been following this podcast on Los Angeles Magazine videos, you'll know that I was going back and forth. I'm not sure if they're connected. Somehow I believe they could be because Harvey Levin said in his ransom note, there was something said about the placement of Nancy's Apple Watch that possibly only the kidnapper would know. So I kept thinking, okay, maybe these are actually real. But after Savannah Guthrie posted another video alone on Monday, my mind changed just a bit. So I'm going to play the video for you right now. And I think you might feel the same way, maybe not, but I have to say, my heart really goes out to the Guthrie family once again, because this is emotional torture. This is just cruel. And also a California man, a man in Los Angeles, was already prosecuted for sending a false ransom note. So I hope if these notes are false, this person gets prosecuted or persons to the fullest, because this, again, is just the cruelest form of torture here. So, okay, Savannah's video, let's pull this up right now. I had tweeted it out immediately and I had a lot of thoughts, but here we go.
Hi there, everybody. I wanted to come on and just share a few thoughts as we enter into another week of this nightmare. I just want to say, first of all, thank you so much for all of the prayers and the love that we have felt, my sister and brother and I, and that our mom has felt. Because we believe that somehow, some way, she is feeling these prayers and that God is lifting her even in this moment and in this darkest place. We believe our mom is still out there. We need your help. Law enforcement is working tirelessly around the clock, trying to bring her home, trying to find her. She was taken and we don't know where. And we need your help. So I'm coming on just to ask you, not just for your prayers, but no matter where you are, even if you're far from Tucson, if you see anything, if you hear anything, if there's anything at all that seems strange to you, that you report to law enforcement. We are at an hour of desperation and we need your help.
Okay, so when she said if anything is strange to you, I want to be like, yes, this whole thing is strange, all of it. But a couple things. I noticed she said words like our mom has felt. She said she has felt prayers, past tense, not I know she feels your prayers. She also, the way she described the prayers, I thought was interesting too. Like, I know that, she's feeling them some way, somehow. I feel like because this family is so faithful, Savannah would be more likely, I guess, to say, I know my mom feels your prayers in the present tense. But again, I didn't quite get that from her. Also, she seems to be talking to the public at this point. She's asking the public for help. If you see anything strange, again, she's asking for prayers. And also, when she recorded this video, it was about 2 hours before the Bitcoin deadline. So there was nothing about, we're going to post this money and I'm confident that we're going to get our mother back. There was nothing like that. On Saturday, when she submitted this video and this video was put out there, she said, "We understand and we will pay." I just found it interesting that there was just no mention of, we are planning to pay. We are planning to do this because, we're going to do anything in our power to get our mom back. None of that. There was none of that. So I definitely felt like she knows. And when I say she knows, I mean she knows that possibly the ransom emails don't matter. They don't. And I'm going to go back to something else. I'm going to go back to the fact that when the doorbell camera was ripped off or broken, whatever you want to call it, and the pacemaker didn't disconnect for 41 minutes. So, there's this time lapse here, and allegedly the abductor, and this is speculation, law enforcement speculated possibly that they were testing the doorbell cam to see if police would show up, if it was ripped off, or if something happened. And I go back to like, what were they going to do if the police showed up? Well, if it was someone that Nancy knew, then they wouldn't necessarily have to do anything. They would just say, "Oh, sorry, officers, something must have happened. We must have just, done something that made this accidentally fall off, case closed, whatever." But no, nobody came, and then Nancy disappeared. So again, I go back to the fact that we could be dealing with two parallel cases here. And that is why the FBI was brought in, because, these ransom emails, that's a cyber crime. And that is definitely something that the FBI and the Homeland Security, should handle. I mean, look, Nancy Guthrie could be kidnapped. She could have been abducted. But something tells me now at this point, maybe something else happened. Maybe something very sinister happened in that house. And now her body is hidden, and we're working on a recovery instead of a rescue. And I know that I've hinted at that before, saying, this could be grim. It looks grim. I'm beginning to feel that way, but for different reasons. And I want to bring up something else. I had watched that video when it first came out. I was doing a hit on Fox Live Now, and this is just something personal I'm going to share, but they had me react live, and I like to get my thoughts together and, try to take the time to process everything. And it was tough, but something I had noticed on the video, and I knew deep down I was going to get some crap for it, and I did. But I noticed that Savannah was wearing makeup, and she had not been wearing makeup in the last two videos. And for some reason, I couldn't verbalize what I was trying to say. And I still can't quite verbalize what I'm trying to get across by me just noticing that she was wearing makeup and she wasn't wearing anything in the last two videos. I just felt like something was different because of that. And I don't know what it is. And maybe it was the fact also that now she was alone in the video. I just, something made me sort of just notice, okay, makeup's on. Is she expecting another press conference? Not that, you would wear makeup when you're in distress and your life is clearly very complicated at the moment. Not that, oh, I have a press conference, I'm going to put on some makeup. I don't think she's like that. All these things were running through my head. So again, I wasn't trying to be shallow or say, oh, look, she's wearing makeup, she really could have used some. That was definitely not my intention at all. But I just had to point that out just because it was something I noticed. And I think at this point in a case like this, we're going to notice everything. I mean, anything and everything. And a couple things that I didn't point out on the last video was the fact that I guess the neighbors had pointed out that the roof of the home, Nancy's home, had just been painted, and investigators, they didn't know just details about the home. I don't know if it's because they weren't asking, or what. But I feel like this entire investigation has just completely flipped upside down as they discover new evidence, new clues, and it's just going in all types of different directions right now, which is another reason why I believe that it's taking a bit longer because, and I hate to criticize the police, but I just feel like the police went down a certain route initially, and maybe that wasn't the right route. So anyway, thank you guys for listening. Thank you for bearing with all of my thoughts here as this horrible and tragic case unfolds. If there's no new evidence and there's no new updates, I probably will wait a day or two to do another video. But my prayers, they just go out to the Guthrie family, and call the FBI. Literally 1-800. Actually, you know what? I'll put the tip line in the episode notes. But please, yeah, if you see something, say something. Thank you so much for listening. And again, prayers to the Guthrie family.